Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Let's see here. All righty. I want to thank Joe and the rest of the Convey UX team for allowing me to be here. It's truly an honor. My name is Everett Swain. You can just call me Ev for short. Um, I am currently the founder of UXD Academy, which is the College for Career Switchers. We'll dive into that here in a second. But I like to poke fun at myself and this industry in general. It changes so fast, and so fast that I'm no longer a senior product design manager at Wayfair. Prior to today, I've been there for 2 years. It's a difficult time for a lot of tech companies, but I have a lot of things that I can bounce back on, fortunately. But hopefully, I can impart some of my experience and wisdom onto people and allow them to be just as adaptable as I am. But I want to talk about my journey a little bit here. So I began my career 11 years ago after graduating from St. Edward's University in 2012 with a bachelor's in graphic design. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a really hard time trying to find a job after that point. I have my own thoughts about colleges, and you hear that here in a second. But they very much like to take your money and do not tell you what you can do with your degree in a lot of instances. And that, for me, was my experience. It took 3 years of self-teaching, 2 years of freelancing, and one opportunity to earn my first role at a health and wellness tech company as a corporate UX designer. I say 3 years of self-teaching. I read an article shortly after graduating that said, "What is UX?" I read that and I was like, "Wait, hold on. I can actually create the products and get paid significantly more than just marketing the products as a graphic designer. Oh, yeah, I want to do that." So I pivoted, read every book that I could. Google, YouTube taught me everything. And after bombing on countless interviews, thankfully, I had one person give me a shot and in 2015, and I haven't looked back since. For over 10 years, I have successfully designed and launched digital solutions for companies ranging from startups to large enterprises, while creating and developing the next generation of designers by night as the founder of UXD Academy, the College for Career Switchers. So today's topics I'm going to run through um, are the true cost of becoming a UX designer, the most important skills to learn, why companies should support first year professionals. You're going to hear me say first year professionals, new professionals a lot. I like to redefine the term entry level. And then lastly, how UXD Academy is creating quality new professionals. And again, as you may know, UX design is a rapidly growing field that plays a crucial role in development of products and services that are intuitive, user-friendly, and engaging. We all know what a shitty app or a shitty experience looks like and feels like. Our job is to make it easy to use and less shitty. It's a field that requires a combination of technical skills, creative problem solving, and empathy for the needs of users. But becoming a UX designer is not easy. It often requires a significant time and financial investment in education and training, and it can be tough for new designers to break in the field and gain the experience they need to succeed. We've all seen it. Job description, quote unquote, entry level designer, must need, must have 3 years experience. Like, how in the hell am I going to get that? That's why I believe it's important to rethink how we approach entry level UX design positions to better support the learning and development of new design professionals and to benefit both the individual and the company. So today I'd like to delve into this topic a little further and explore the true cost of becoming a UX designer, the most important skills for a new design professional to focus on, and why companies should put more effort into supporting entry-level professionals. So, as I mentioned earlier, becoming a UX designer can be a significant investment in terms of both time and money. I tell people all the time, especially people that are looking to break into this industry and they come to me, there's going to be an upfront cost. But again, the ROI is insane, and I'll touch on that a little bit later. It often requires a formal education in design or related field, as well as ongoing training and development to stay up to date with the latest trends of technology. Um, but I will tell you, that's not necessarily the case today. For many designers, the journey to becoming a UX professional involves a lot of hard work and sacrifice. But despite the challenges, the payoff can be well worth it. UX design is a field that is in high demand and it offers the potential for a fulfilling and rewarding career. Before I continue here, essentially, there are roughly about three pathways to becoming a designer. You can go kind of the traditional route when it comes to getting a bachelor's or a bachelor's degree in graphic design, HCI, or something similar. Everybody has their own remix name of it nowadays. But some of the drawbacks to that pathway, tuition is expensive as hell. We all know how much tuition costs in colleges. And then I like to call it you're sitting on a bench studying for 2 to 4 years. And oftentimes you're learning from somebody who has probably been retired or who doesn't have much real world experience. So there's always trade offs. The next pathway is boot camps and online courses, which have become very popular now. Um, all courses aren't the same, though. Um, there are often lack of hands-on experience, and it's harder to stand out amongst a bunch of boot camp graduates and online courses. Now, you can strategically place yourself by taking the right course, um, but it's really hard to stand out. And oftentimes, a lot of the portfolios of people from these boot camps look identical, so it's very hard to stand out. And then you can go the self-taught route, which I did, but I can tell you you're going to take a lot longer because there's a lot of fluff and BS out on the internet. You don't know how to discern what should I actually learn to land me a job. So the self-taught route is very hard. And again, you're using Google, books, YouTube, now AI tools. It might be a little bit easier with ChatGPT and the likes of that, including networking. But ultimately, you need a hustler's mentality to go the self-taught route. One way for new designers to gain valuable experience and build their portfolio is through internships or other learning opportunities. These types of programs can provide a chance to work on real world projects, learn from experienced professionals, and make connections in the industry. Now, a little bit of a fun fact. My first failed startup helped me land my first role. The startup was called Ucrates, care packages you create. It spawned from a situation where I was in college. My mom sent me a college care package. I don't even know if they do those anymore, but almost nothing in that damn package I wanted. I didn't like the candy. I didn't like the food that was in there. I'm like, Mom, what? Why'd you send me this? She was like, Look, I couldn't choose what went into the package. I can only choose what size. And so that had me thinking. I'm like, well, I could use gift cards. What if there was just a care package of stuff that I know that I would use? Mom, send me a care package, and she knows what gift cards that Everett likes. I'm gonna send him a 250 dollar care package with stuff that he'll actually use. However, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. That was about 2014 ish. And but I will say though, because I had the experience of creating at least a prototype, talking to users, things of that nature, it allowed me to at least present one of my best case studies at that time, which ultimately landed my first role. So some of the hard skills that are needed, you'll see here as I continue to read down. As a new design professional, there are a few key skills that are essential to succeed in the field of UX. These include research and user-centered design principles. Having a strong foundation in user research and design principles is crucial for understanding the needs and goals of the people you're designing for. At the end of the day, we're problem solvers and we're creating some sort of digital solution to help solve those problems. In order to solve those problems, we have to conduct user interviews, usability testing, and other forms of research to gather insights and inform your design decisions. And prototyping and testing. Uh, Thankfully, Figma is such an amazingly wonderful, powerful tool. Prototyping is very much um, a skill that you need to have in your repertoire. Uh, People are very visual, and we love motion. And if you can combine that into a prototype to, for a proof of concept, or some sort of A/B testing, you will definitely stand out amongst the crowd. The ability to quickly create and test prototypes is an important skill for a UX designer. Prototyping allows you to test and validate your ideas with users, and it can help you identify and address potential issues before investing too much time and resources into a final product. Some of the soft skills you need: collaboration and communication. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a team sport. Being on a cross-functional team, pod, however people want to call it, it's important to be able to work effectively with others. This includes the ability to communicate your design ideas clearly. There's a book I have in my library, and that's one thing that you also need as a library. But articulating your design decisions, um, you need to know why you did what you did, and you have to have great communication skills in order to do that. But you also have to have the willingness to listen and incorporate feedback from team members and stakeholders. That is key. I tell all my students, do not get attached to your work. It's not your baby. We've all heard that, in some shape or form, but it is not personal. They have hired you to solve their problem. And if something is not clicking for them, then you have to go back to the drawing board with that feedback and not take it personal. And then again, adaptability and continuous learning. I mean, I can't stress that enough. The field of UX design is constantly evolving with AI tools, um, this new role called a prompt engineer. Things are moving very, very fast. So it's important to stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies. This also requires a willingness to continuously learn and adapt and to be open to new ideas and approaches. So, why should companies put more effort in supporting entry level UX designers? There are a few reasons. Um, the benefit of having a diverse team with a wide range of experiences and perspectives, that team can bring fresh ideas and perspectives to the table, and it can help to create a more inclusive and user friendly designs. Supporting entry level designers can help to foster diversity and inclusivity within your organization. I always believe in true diversity being diverse in backgrounds, not just skin color. Um, you know, I could tell you throughout my career, a lot of designers you'll find found this job or stumbled into this job by accident. We were all doing something completely different. And that is why every designer is unique. You bring that hunger, the dedication, and your past experiences, you will discover that you've been a designer. You just didn't know it. There are always transferable skills from your past experience that you can bring into today. The opportunity to shape and mold new designers into company culture and processes. By providing support and guidance to entry level designers, companies have the opportunity to shape and mold them into valuable team members who align with company culture and processes. This can lead to long term retention and loyalty from these companies. Pour into your young designers. And I'm speaking young from a career standpoint, not age. But it is imperative that we support our first year professionals. The potential for long term retention and advancement within the company is also a huge benefit. By investing in the development of entry level designers, companies can create a pipeline of talent that can grow and advance within the organization. This can lead to a more stable and sustainable workforce, and it can help to reduce the cost and effort of constantly recruiting and training new employees. You know, this is a common pushback I've heard over my career. But Everett, entry level designers require too much time, money, and effort to train. Now, before I call complete bullshit on this, let's talk through some of the common responses as pushback to the idea of hiring and supporting new professionals. We can't do it because increased time, increased investment in training. Okay, well, then provide training and support in increments. It's hard to manage expectations. Well, how about we be clear and transparent on job descriptions? Their training versus their workload. Well, how do we balance the two? Because we have a lot of work to get done, but they don't have the capacity or the skill set to do that work because they're new. Well, we should emphasize design ops to provide that support. Again, when it comes to the investment in training, one potential challenge of that may require companies to invest more time and resources. Of course, it costs a lot to do that. I'm not saying it doesn't, but one potential solution is to provide training and support in increments rather than all at once. This can help reduce the burden on more experienced team members and allow entry level professionals to gradually build their skills and knowledge. There are a bunch of tools that will help facilitate this. UXL is one, UXCEL.com. Check that out. It's a big part of my workflow at UXD to help train for new professionals. Additionally, companies can consider partnering with external training programs like UXD Academy. We know that a lot of others are partnered with the likes of General Assembly, Coursera, things of that nature. They can help provide more structured training and support. To the pushback of managing expectations, well, let's provide clear and communication and feedback to these new professionals. Companies can set clear expectations about what is required of them and provide ongoing feedback to them to adjust to the pace and demands of the industry. Additionally, mentorship and support from experienced team members can help to provide guidance and feedback as needed. Case in point, my time at Wayfair. I had the pleasure of running Wayfair's very first experience design apprenticeship program. And we allowed L3 and 4s to be mentors to the cohort of designers. And they very much enjoyed it. Some people who may not have thought they wanted to become leaders said, you know what, after being a mentor to a new designer, I think I do want to be a leader. So there are plenty of ways to get around this expectation pushback. And again, balancing training with their workload. One solution to that is to provide more structured training and support. This can help to ensure that they are learning the necessary skills and knowledge efficiently and effectively. Consider emphasizing design ops to create tools and software to help streamline the workload and reduce the burden on entry-level professionals. Wayfair used Pluralsight as an additional resource to allow designers to learn. But again, coming up with a curriculum, onboarding package, way of doing things within the culture of the org, those things can help provide that structure and support. It's an interesting quote I heard over my doing my research for this is that 375 million people are going to have to switch careers by 2030 due to automation. They will not go back to colleges. They will go to training programs. And this is by Ruben Harris, the CEO of Career Karma. We see a great potential for the new professional UX designers with this new model. It can lead to a more well-prepared and diverse new professionals entering the industry, which can lead to more creative solutions and a more inclusive industry. This can also create more opportunities for growth and advancement within companies. And at UXD Academy, we're excited to be at the forefront of this new approach and believe it can create a stronger and more collaborative industry. So at UXD Academy, we specialize in transforming career switchers into first-year professionals with senior level talent. We guide you every step of the way towards your first tech opportunity. So from the time you start with us to the time you get your first job, you will always have somebody in your corner constantly preparing you. We've developed a unique partnership model to benefit both new professionals and companies. The top 20% of UXD Academy's first year designers work with experienced senior designers in a team based approach, allowing companies to get a team of apprentices and a senior designer for the price of one. This model provides new professional designers with real world experience and mentorship, and helps companies build a diverse and inclusive team while reducing costs. The seamless transfer of knowledge between senior designers and first year designers also improves the quality of design work. Our philosophy really can be broken down into three main points. We have professional level curriculum at a middle school reading level. I am not a fan of jargon and vocabulary words that confuse the hell out of people. Talk to me like we're standing in a subway and we have 30 seconds. Can you explain what you do to me? Using less jargon, zero fluff, real pathways, and none of the BS. Also, the terminology of edutainment, is the intersection between pedagogy and andragogy. Using education and entertainment together to not only teach in a way that we're all used to from a pedagogical standpoint, but also andragogical standpoint, which is the teaching of adults. We use our past experiences. What can you do for me now? How can this help me today? And emphasizing on self-learning. So that is our philosophy. Now, we have partnered with an agency called Our Table. They are 100% staffed by new professionals. And so it is the first creative agency staffed by entirely by new professionals. Their designers are not only trained in-house and vetted by industry professionals, but the majority of them are valedictorians from UXD Academy. Again, the top 20% have that opportunity to also land their first project. For the price of a senior designer, Our Table provides companies a small team of new professionals led by senior professionals and the ability to hire those new professionals for their in-house design team. So how do we do things? Told you we were going to get into my opinions about college. I believe that college as we know it today would be extinct in 10 to 15 years. I think we need to focus on specialized trades that bridge the gap between education and industry. At UXD Academy, we encourage true diversity of background within the design industry by preparing our new professionals to adapt in many corporate and freelance environments. So we use learning experience best practices. We prepare our designers for remote work using the best tools they'd use in the field. We have a robust design ops playbook, which allows us to provide a plug and play design team of well-prepared new professionals and provide design operations for the company. And we do continuous mentorship, as I mentioned before. It's not one of those, you take one of our 1-year program or a 6-month training and, we send you on your way and you never hear from us again. We want to make sure that you get that job. So being in the UXD family means you're mentored until you land that first role. And so some artifacts on how we execute this. So we have a playbook that includes, project templates for designers to copy and edit as they see fit when they get a new project. There is a curriculum that's provided. We obviously have an orientation deck, and then the student file, which is from a program perspective, is every activity that they do within the given year. It's all in one file for them so they can reference at any point in time when they're on the job. And then we have a design system. So we're teaching them how to utilize design systems, create decks, project templates, and really work well with cross-functional partners. Here is just a screenshot of the program curriculum here. So This file is for the teacher or someone administering this program. You have all the lessons that we have here. We broken down into 3 units: visual design fundamentals, the product designer role, and then there's job prep. So we see here focusing on color space typography. And then we have our projects for the 1-year program. They have 5 projects that they will leave with on their portfolio. And, one of those being building out and maintaining a design system, working on enterprise functionality, product redesign, and then they have to create 2 new completely products from scratch, customer facing and then a business to business facing. I want to have a mix of products so that way you stand out. And then here is the apprentice toolkit. So again, every exercise that we do, from user interviews, all the activities they would do in the field, they have here, including their resume, portfolio, and something that I call an interview deck. I encourage my apprentices to not get into an interview and pull up your portfolio. Pull out a deck of your best, most recent case study that talks through your design process, shows a bit of your personality, all in one. And you take that into every interview. So just to recap some of my thoughts, we talked about the true cost of becoming a UX designer, the most important skills for new design professionals, the need for companies to support entry-level professionals, and how UXD Academy is redefining the entry-level UX role. Redefining the entry-level UX design position is important for creating a more inclusive and diverse industry. At UXD Academy, we're committed to this mission through our rigorous training program and unique partnership model. We believe this approach can bridge the gap between education and industry, create a more innovative design solutions, and positively impact the industry, economy, and society. And as I end today, I would like for everyone to consider a few things. Encourage companies to consider this new approach to hiring and nurturing entry-level talent. Invite educational institutions and individuals to rethink the current educational model for UX design. And then lastly, I want to challenge you to be a part of that change. It's very much imperative, especially with the way things are going from an economic standpoint. People are about to get hit hard when it comes to the economy. And so I want to do my part in providing a safety net by teaching them a valuable skill that can help them weather the storm of what's coming. Thank you. And I'll open it up for Q&A.
Thanks, Ev. That was great. And we do have a couple of questions already in. One just checking, you mentioned L3-4, I think. That's junior to mid-level designers, is that right?
So L1 and 2 are more more junior. L3, L4 are like mid, and once you get to the L4 and up, you're venturing into like the IC or individual contributor territory. And then you got a decision to make. Do you want to go into leadership and then be a manager, go to VP, all that sort of stuff, head of design, or you just want to stay an individual contributor or a principal contributor?
Okay, thank you. It's a great question from Julie, who's just received 500 plus applications for an advertised junior UX designer position. So how would you recommend someone applying for a job makes their application stand out from the other 499?
Yeah, so I think, one, it all really starts with your portfolio. A great friend of mine said that your portfolio is what gets you the interview, but your deck is what gets you the job. So I've noticed, again, I've been running UXD Academy for 5 years now, and I've done a lot of research and talking to people who have taken boot camps elsewhere. And I noticed that a lot of people do not create a deck. It's just portfolio. And the problem is that, all their portfolios look very much the same. So I would say start with your portfolio and have a healthy mix of product types of products that you're designing for. I'm gonna be honest with you, managers don't want to see another Spotify. Like, they don't want to see that. So think about internal tools, dual-sided tools, and some customer-facing tools, and then create a deck. Those two things should help you stand out.
Right. And then from the opposite perspective, Julie's now saying, how do you recommend sifting through all these 500 portfolios without losing one's mind? So are the things you would look for as a recruiter that would say, okay, I've got to interview this person. This person's going to be on my short list.
Got you. Well, because I've dove headfirst in a lot of AI tools, I would say just work using that. But, from a realistic standpoint, I would say, again, you're looking for a healthy mix of different types of products. If you find, and obviously, let's say I'm a recruiter for Wayfair. So, we're on the retail e-com side. I would like to see retail e-com projects or case studies in a portfolio. So I'm going to automatically start there and say, okay, do they have a case study that directly aligns with the product that we're hiring for? That's where I start. And then I just kind of sift down from there.
That's good advice. Yeah. Yuanzi's saying many students coming out of boot camps are not job ready. What makes your curriculum different from other design boot camps? How does your program or approach make your students job ready?
Yeah, good question. So a number of ways. So what I do is I simulate the job experience with the curriculum that we have. So with my course, I do a 6-to-1 student to teacher ratio. And what that allows me to do is to basically split those 6 people up into 2 teams of 3. And each of those 3 people will rotate between a researcher's role, a designer's role, and sort of like an architect's role. And in 3 projects, they have to rotate with those roles. So that way they know what a user researcher does. They know what a product designer, UX designer does, and as well as a UX architect, right? And so those 3 things allow them to sharpen their skills from a design perspective. The next thing that I do is I invite guest teachers of different disciplines. So I'll bring in a developer, I'll bring in a researcher, I'll bring in a product person. And so they come in and we would do a case study on a project that they're working on. And so that way they're able to collaborate or at least ask questions to a cross-functional partner. So right off the bat there, you're getting a simulated work experience. And then the last thing from the job prep perspective, we do mock interviews. We do 2 mock interviews, and we do 2 types of mock interviews. One I call like the gauntlet, which is you're going to interview for 3 hours and 3 people, 1 hour each. And then the round table, where you're going to have to interview with 6 to 8 people at one time. So the goal is to try and simulate the job hunting experience and the experience of you landing that role. And I don't want you to be lost or caught off guard in either one of those scenarios. So that's how we do that.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. You mentioned the cost of going to college. How's the funding work for UXD Academy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great question. So we priced our programs to try not to hurt people's pockets. So the 1-year program is going to be the most expensive because it's the most intensive. That one right now is about $6,000 for 12 months. So you pay a deposit and then it's $495 a month. I let you pick the date on when it comes out. And that seems to help people out a lot. We have the 6-month, which is $1,800. You can pay that monthly. And then our standalone course, which is coming out in June, that's going to be $80 a month. So The goal is, and the thing with the course is that course is the same course that I'm teaching to the 1-year program. The only difference is you're not in a class environment. So the goal is, you take the course, you already got a pretty good head start on jumping into this field.
Right. Josh has got a great little anecdote, the cartoon. I don't know if you've read that cartoon. It says they're advertising for a job. They said, can't find anyone for this mid-level opening. Listing's been open for months. Second person says, what about hiring entry-level training them? No, we haven't got time for that.
Exactly. It's like so stupid. And what I don't like is like, they want to focus on that mid or senior level, but let's be honest here, that mid to senior level is out of there at maybe 1-2 years. Like the days of somebody staying there 3, 4, 5, 6 years, that's
right.
That's not very. So what is more time to hire a high priced mid or senior level designer? They leave in a year and then you got to spend money to find another one.
Whether does the data show then that entry level designers are typically more loyal to companies that they join and stick around a lot longer? Is that right?
I believe so. I know for me, what I tell my apprentices that they should stay on their job at a minimum 2 to 3 years, and maybe even scale into 4, because to me, that's the time period when things start to click. Like, oh, I actually know what I'm doing. That first year is damn near a wash. Like it's a wash. Like I'm just trying to, I'm like the Mr. Krabs meme for those of you that understand it. Like I'm just trying to survive. But after that first year, okay, now I'm starting to understand how the company works, how the company makes money, what our users want, and just what my role is and how I impact that. You're really not going to understand all of that at a minimum 2 years. You need more than that.
Mm-hmm. And also maybe there's a sense that they feel they want to give back some of what they've received from the company, and that if the company's helped them start their career, then I can imagine there is perhaps more loyalty involved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Johansi's question is, does your teaching stop at getting students hired?
Does my teaching? Yeah. I mean, the goal is to get you a job.
Right.
But the thing is, in my teaching, I teach you how to teach yourself. And that's where andragogy comes in. It's like teaching an adult how to use their past experiences and to teach themselves. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, it stops there, but I don't stop checking on you, but teaching you. Yeah.
Okay, good. And then thoughts on getting them future ready. For example, do you emphasize the importance of design ethics, thinking outside the box, asking hard questions, challenging the status quo, dealing with difficult situations at work? I guess, I mean, these are all important skills. And you mentioned the fact that you've got to be adaptable because things change so quickly.
Exactly. Let's see, what's the next question we have here?
Top 3 qualities you should look for when hiring an entry-level designer?
To get an excellent match, consider they may have similar portfolio. So when I speak to first-year professionals, I'm looking for hunger. I'm looking for drive, just an eagerness to learn from like a soft skills perspective. From hard skills, what I have to go off of is your portfolio. And if you're coming from me, your deck, right? So the deck shows your design process. It shows how confident you are in that design process. And in your portfolio, again, a healthy mix of products you're actually going to build. Like, I don't want to see dribble type stuff. I don't want to see media players. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see something that's a real world product that can solve a problem. Sure, I want to see at least one customer facing product, but I'm looking for a healthy mix of product types in their portfolio. I'm looking for an interview deck so I can effectively evaluate their design process and how confident they are in that. And then again, the soft skill is just, are they hungry?
Absolutely. One of the things you said was you predicted that college would be extinct within 10 to 15 years. Is there still a place for college to teach kind of more academic subjects like philosophy, classics, literature? What's going to happen to all those kind of studies?
I don't think they're going to be there, man.
Oh, come on.
I'll try to help you out. I'm trying to help you, man. But I don't see it. I don't see it. The cost is way too high. The cost is way too high to go to college. I think it's going to be, again, specialized. If you're trying to get into STEM, trying to get into law, you're trying to get into finance, great, go. But when it comes to things that are like trade schools, no, nobody's going there. And one of the things that I growing up was interesting. I was a drawer, and I was told that I can't make any money drawing. You're not going to make money doing art, right? And so now I'm kind of laughing back, like, yeah, I am. But I've heard that same thing when it comes to English majors. You're not going to make any money, doing English. Now you can. There's a thing called UX writer. There's a content strategist. Yes, you can. And my mission is to show people who may have had those degree paths in college and haven't done anything with them. I'm like, well, here's what you can do. And had they known this, they probably wouldn't have gone to college. And I tell my mom all the time, like, well, she brags about what I do now, but I never wanted to go to college. I only went because she wanted me to go.
Right.
And I went there. I'm like, I could have learned this shit on my own, which I did. So I'm sorry, man. I don't know if there's going to be room for philosophy, things like that.
Okay.
I tried.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Now you said there's a lot of people have kind of been designers, people from all kind of backgrounds, but didn't know it. So what can you tell? Do you think there are any kind of telltale signs that people are designers?
Yes.
Yeah. What are those signs? You said you were a drawer when you were young. Is it always show that way, or what are the other little signals you can spot a budding designer, potential designer?
Gotcha. I think the drawing and the artistic side lends itself to the visual design aspect of things, like, which is, I call it making stuff look pretty. But when it comes to like user experience, service design, things like that, those are all, if you boil it down, it's problem solving.
Yeah.
We've all solved problems in our lives. I usually ask somebody, okay, was there a family trip that you prepared or crafted? Tell me about that experience when you decided to take your family on a trip. Like, what all went into it? Oh, well, first we had to, make sure that we had the clothes, and we had to make sure to do that. I'm like, okay, well, it's the exact same thing you're going to do in a job.
Right. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I like that. We've only got a couple more minutes left. So the burning question that came in right at the beginning of the chat is we've all got microphone envy, and we want to know the exact technical data of your make of your microphone there. And I'll tell you, the webcam's not bad either.
So I'll give you a secret. The webcam is not a webcam. It's actually it's a mirrorless camera, Sony A6600.
Oh,
and I have a lens on it. And then what I did was just have a 4K capture, so that way it looks really good. So it's not a webcam.
Right.
And as far as the microphone, let me pull it up now. It's a Shure MB. Let me get the right one for you. Shure SM7B. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen so that way everybody can see it.
Excellent. Thank you.
There you go. It's this one right here. So I will say, though, this is an XLR mic.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So you're going to need an audio interface,
Right.
or I use a Rodecaster Pro 2,
Okay.
second version. And that I just plug the microphone into that, and then I plug the Rodecaster into my my Mac Studio. So you're going to need one of these or some sort of audio interface in order to use this microphone.
Right. So this is for the serious podcaster, serious.
A little bit, but I will say this. They have Shure has a USB version of this. Let me see. Where is this one right here? This is a USB version, and it's really good.
Is it?
Really good.
Okay.
Yep. So those are the two secrets there.
Yeah, nice. Thank you. Of course, you've got to have the right voice to go with it as well. You've got a beautiful voice. I love the sound of your voice.
I appreciate it, man. It was a time I hated it at once, so I've gotten used to it.
Okay. Well, no. Well, that was a great session. Thank you very much. Really enjoyed it, and enjoy the rest of the conference, and thank you so much for your time.
Oh yeah, no problem at all. And I see one last question.
Sorry. Yeah.
Design.
And someone asking the name of your podcast as well.
Yeah, it's called Design Plug with all the vowels taken out.
Right.
So there you go.
Very good.
But thank you all so much. I really appreciate it, and happy Friday Eve, everybody.
And you too. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Ev.